Okay, so again, my name is Sunil Bhaskaran, and I am starting a group called Results. And I want to share why I'm doing this group, why I'm starting this group in Santa Cruz. But before that, I also want to share, more importantly, why I joined Results and how it's made a difference for me. So why I joined was actually I joined at the invitation of one of my friends, Peter Fikowski, who I met in San Jose after I moved up to the Bay Area in 1997. And he shared with me, and I saw the possibility of really making a huge difference in a grassroots organization as a volunteer, unpaid of course, but really out to make a difference with with some high leverage, not having to spend my full time with it, not having to give up my precious time with my business or my work to do that, but still be able to effect a difference, which I really wanted to do. I really felt it was important to do that. So I joined. I probably would I'll credit my father, my late father, in observing him as I grew up. He was always generous with his time, with people. When people came to visit, he would spend time with them. A lot of times people came for his counseling, and he would listen for the most part, and then he would engage with them and try to guide them as much. And oftentimes he would give money, and oftentimes he would show up for them to do certain things which are quite unreasonable. And he never asked for any praise. He never talked much about it. He never shared much about it. But it left an impression on me because my father was one of the coolest, most relaxed people I knew, and that's the truth. Great sense of humor, great sense of mischief, but extremely committed to people. And he was a great provider for us. It's the whole reason I'm here in this country was because he managed to pull together a great income and send me to university in a very good university. But the point I'm trying to make is I was influenced by that. And I know some of you are too, that you've seen people like that and you want to be like that, you want to make a difference. But as I joined Results, one of the things that I quickly learned was how quickly results could be done or accomplished at a large scale. And one of those examples was when I went to Washington for the first time with the Results group. And we went up to the Hill to Congress and the Senate. And we visited the senators and we were asking them to increase funding for certain programs. And there was one program that I was asked as a volunteer to lead the request on in front of the senators' aides. And of course I was extremely nervous doing this because I didn't know how to do it. I wasn't sure what I was going to say, etc. And I practiced it in the mirror several times, but I finally got it to be fairly good. And so, there was a group of us, quite a crowd actually, about 20 of us in the room, because it was quite an important. We were in Dianne Feinstein's, was a senator from California, in her office in Washington, D.C., and the aide was in front of us. She couldn't attend. The aide was there. And it seems very imposing. You see all these flags and all that, and you feel quite nervous. I felt quite nervous. But I finally asked the request, and there was a silence in the room. You could hear a pin drop. And the aide looked back at me and said, "I see no problem in us requesting additional funding." And again, there was a long silence. And some of us started crying because we were moved to tears, inspired by tears, but not by tears, by what just happened. And I was a little shocked myself because I never dreamt that someone like me could make a difference like that. I never dreamt in my wildest years that I could make a difference. And I'm still quite present to that emotion right now. And I remember going out, it was a sunny day, summer's day in Washington, D.C. It's really hot. And I went outside, I took my jacket off, and I laid down in the grass. And I let the realization sink in that I had just saved about 200 million lives in the next 20 years because of that increased funding. Now that's something that it's very difficult to take responsibility for. I don't mean I'm taking the total credit for having done that. Of course not. A lot of people worked in it, and other organizations worked in it as well. But the fact is that I made the ask. The fact is that I made the request. And I was just one small cog in the wheel that caused it to happen. And it didn't take too long. That blew me away. And I want to give you that opportunity to have that in your own life. Because that's important. And it's important to have. And I want you to have that. And that's why